Hey, me ducks, how you doing? I just saw Chris's comment about, yes, Simon, I've just finished making my coffee. You may begin. That made me chuckle. How is everybody doing today? I just saw in the comments somebody was saying that it's thunder and lightning. Was that you as well, Chris? We had that early this morning. I was out at a friend's house doing some gardening actually, and it just came from nowhere. I was like, is that a flash of lightning? And then lots of thunder and heavy downpour rain. So we had to abandon what we was doing. But let's do some hellos before the chat gets really, really busy. So first one in today was Ramon. How you doing, Ramon? And then Brian from Gunkel Tarot was here, and Caroline. Hi, Caroline. And then it was me about half an hour ago saying, you early birds. Celia, hello Celia, Rosemary, and finally joining in. It looks like there's a few people here today who are joining for the first time live, which is great. So welcome to everybody. We've got David, we have the lovely Patrice, and Chris. Hi Chris, and Sandra. Oh, Chris, I've got oat milk coffee as well. That's what I've got at the moment. Do you just love it? Oat milk coffee. I couldn't go back to normal cow's milk now. Heavy, black and pendulous. It comes to something when Chris and I did a joint live on Thursday. We did Throwback Thursday for Tower of the She, and the creator Emily Cardin left a comment, and they even picked up on the Rocky Horror reference. I feel totally uncivilized with everyone having exotic coffees. Just black Nescafe for me. Oh, David, I can't drink Nescafe. Oh, it's like my worst coffee ever. And it's a very popular coffee, but I just can't stomach the taste of Nescafe. Who else have we got? It's lovely seeing everybody chatting. Kim's here. Hello, Kim. And Indira, nice to see you. Magical Moon Cat. Janine. And we have Sonique. Hello, Sonique. Nice to see you again. And Lily Rose and Dana, Karina, Doug, Redwing, Sani Mac, Marita, Karina, and I've some of these names like Karina Gagne. It's sounded familiar because obviously I'm going to be doing the giveaway draw in a minute, and these are the names I've been, putting in. So, Rosemary, SJ. We have Freudis. I apologize if I'm messing up people's names. Nicole, Sarah, Richie. Hello, Richie. Tamaya, Star and Flurry. Scott. Hi, Scott. Mystic Moggy, Cat Stevens. Yeah, it was me, Simon. The sun was beating down on us this morning. Now it's proper stormy. I think it's getting a bit more cloudy now, but it was really warm. We went for a walk at 5:45 this morning, and it was very warm already. And then we went for a coffee at Costa. Then we got to my friend's house for about 8:15. We waited until 9 before we thought it was an acceptable time to put on strimmers and lawnmowers and all that sort of stuff. But then we literally got to 9:45, and that's when the storm came. Jamie Lynn, finally get a Saturday off and can hang out with Simon and everybody else. It's lovely to have you here, Jamie. Fluffy Bunny Knits, Vanessa, bitch coffee, basic bitch coffee. So, David, I didn't mean anything by it. Please don't be offended by my distaste of Nescafe. Have I missed anybody? Railway Cats, nice to see you. Danny81 and Dawn the Prawn, your name that's gone in as well. I've seen that one. Yeah, so shall we do the giveaway first? Now, I always do the old-fashioned way, a bowl and loads of names, because I always think something, if I do it technical, something's going to go wrong. However, I'm going to give it a go, but I've got this as a fail-safe, as a backup if the technical thing doesn't work. So I'll add that to the stream. Hopefully, I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully, this will be okay. So as you can see, everybody's names, I think there was 54, 56 names that were entered, and all the names are there. We're going to spin the wheel and see who has won the giveaway. So the giveaway, if you remember, is Between the Worlds. This is my copy. Your copy is sealed, brand new, not been opened, and it's by Monica Badursky. It's the shadow casting with Bone and Curio Oracle cards, and I love it. I really, really love it. It's one of my favorite little divination tools. So thank you for everybody who entered by putting the key emoji in the live 2 weeks ago. Okay, are we ready? Can we get a drum roll, please? So I think we just click to spin. Ooh. It's Lulu Dark. Lulu Dark. Congratulations. I don't know if you're in the chat, but yeah, you are our winner for the live, or the live giveaway, but the winner of Between the Worlds deck by Monica Badursky. So what you'll need to do, Lulu Dark, is send me an email. That's my email address. Just, yep, opposite way, just here. Send me an email with your postal information and I will get it sent out to you. So that was fun and that worked and it was pretty easy to do. So goodbye old method of having everybody's names, but it's better, I think, because there's more of a visual and it's more fun and exciting, isn't it? Excuse me. So yeah, congratulations, Lulu Dark. Well, everybody's saying congrats, which is lovely. All right. So how's everybody doing? Are we all having a good week? I think we are about to have a stormy day. It's very muggy. I just suddenly feel very sort of, I'm a bit of a barometer. I kind of pick up, even since being a small child, I used to get a little bit clammy and a little bit, and then there'd always be a storm. So I'm a bit sensitive to it, but yeah, looks like we might have another one. I was well impressed with that colourful wheel, right? Me too. Me too. I thought it was quite fun. There was another one I did. I had to type all the names in, but I wanted to test how it worked. It was really lame. It just kind of like put a name up, and I was like, that's a bit. And I thought, I'm not typing them all in again, so I kind of copied and pasted everybody's names, and then I found that one and dropped it in, and it was, yeah, it was good. Did you get the sound effect as well? I got it this end, but did you get the sound effect for it, like the spinning noise and the da-da? What was I going to say? So let's see what's new in. The only thing that's new in this week, I did put it on my Insta. Should be on my Insta. By the way, something else that's new in. Has everybody downloaded Threads? Have you heard about Threads? Because I was talking in a chat group and there were people in there like, what app's this? What? So it launched in the UK on Thursday. It's by Meta, so it's Facebook kind of. It looks very much like Instagram, but it's their version of Twitter, and it's gonna, I think, cause a lot of damage towards Twitter because they're kind of putting more restrictions and things in place. So I think people will migrate over. But I downloaded it in the week and I thought, we'll see what happens, see what I think to it. But ever since Thursday, my watch is buzzing every few minutes saying follower, follower. So I think you can just kind of upload your contacts from your followers, I should say, from your Instagram. But it's great because it's just like Twitter. It's just like a little text feed. We can add pictures and things as well. Oh, hello, Ben. Nice to see you. I've heard of Threads, but not really interested. Yeah, I mean, I've never really. When Twitter first came out, I remember using it back in like 2008, but I don't really use Twitter at all. Not on Twitter other than a work account for stuff. But I quite like the fact that it links to your Instagram, and we're starting to have like I know that was the whole idea, to have like a metaverse, but I like the fact that things link up. Although I do like to keep my private Facebook separate to my Instagram, which is more linked to my channel. So it's the Hermit's Cave on Instagram. And sometimes I'll upload a picture to my personal Facebook and it will automatically go. Even though I've turned that function off, it'll automatically go, if I haven't unselected it every time, to Instagram and vice versa. So I don't like that. I like to have things separate and I choose where things end up. But I don't think Threads, what you post on Threads, ends up in Facebook or Instagram. It does seem to be separate. So let's see what you guys are saying about if anybody's on Threads. I thought you meant the TV program Threads. Do you remember that? Mind you're an 80s person, even though you wasn't around. Threads was terrifying. Oh gosh, I think it came out around 1984, set in Sheffield. Nuclear bomb, because we was really close. 1983, 84, the Russia-America thing, Reagan, Thatcher. We were so close. And there was a big American film called The Day After Tomorrow. And then in the UK, there was a film called Threads, but it was really disturbing. And then there was a cartoon by Raymond Briggs called When the Wind Blows. That I've got that on DVD. That's really a bittersweet program. Just what we need is another social media platform. Yeah, but it's the way of the future, isn't it? Social media. Or they just refer. My nieces were talking the other day, and they just refer to it as socials now. On me socials, yeah, on me socials. But yeah, I don't know if I'll stick with it, just like I did with Twitter, but we'll see. Same here. If it's anything like Twitter, I won't be subbing to it. Too much noise. Just heard of Threads, but haven't signed up. Not sure about it. The author I follow mentioned Threads the other day in their Facebook group. Haven't checked it out yet. I'd love to find a good alternative to Twitter, but don't want to tie myself into more Zucker's empire than I already am. But I don't pay anything and it's free. So yeah, I know we're kind of using this platform and he gets revenue from ads and things. But someone's going to be, if it's not him, it's Elon Musk or, others. I was thinking, wasn't it some TV drama? Yeah, Threads was. Threads was a really scary 80s film about a nuclear war. Yeah, set in Sheffield where I work. So Malamir, hello Malamir, says yes, Threads is just another early version of Twitter. It's handy that it's automatically connects to your Instagram followers, but it's not anything that's new since it's just another version of Twitter. Yes, because it's 80s. I'm a dinosaur. I'm sure you're not Red Wing. Hello Thace, nice to see you. Yeah, so the only thing new this week, and this is what started the whole Threads conversation, wasn't it? Was I put it on my socials. But I got this book, The Tales Behind Tarot, and I love it. So I met a friend on Sunday afternoon. We went for coffee, and we had a walk around town, and we always go into the bookshop. And I went up onto the floor where the spiritual section is, checked out the decks. There was nothing new really, or anything that I wanted to pick up. And then I looked at the books and I saw this. And of course, the first thing that caught my eye was the RWS images. But the cool thing about this book is it's a storybook and it's the Fool's Journey, obviously. The miners are a little bit different. I can't say too much about them because I haven't got to the miners yet. But it's the Fool going on a journey and the people that he meets. And the idea behind it, well, one of the ideas, because it's for seasoned readers as well, you know, they always say that, is that if you are learning or trying to learn the tarot, then there is that belief that it's easier to learn a story than it is a lot of keywords or meanings. So if you, and I think that's true if you're that type of learner, because I am, you know, we all remember our fairy tale stories from when we were kids, or so it's pretty cool. But anyway, on the back it says, step into the mysterious, unforgettable world of tarot and discover the illuminating tarots behind the 78 cards in the modern tarot deck in this introduction to the tarot unlike any other. And it's by Alison Davis. Every tarot card has a story to tell and is rich in symbolic meaning. In this gorgeous book for aspiring and experienced tarot readers alike, we always get that sentence, don't we? Expert practitioner Alison Davies brings the stories being told within each card to life. Follow the Fool on his journey through the major arcana as he travels down the path of life, meeting iconic characters along the way, such as the Hermit, Death, and the High Priestess. Learn the stories of the four suits in the minor arcana. Discover how three sisters rise to power in the suit of Pentacles. So each suit gets its kind of own story. And watch as the world-changing idea is born in the suit of Wands. With themes to help you understand the meaning of these iconic cards, use this storybook as a tool to learn the tarot so you can take your tarot reading to the next level and apply their unique wisdom to your own life. Vanessa says, I love that book. Have you got it, Vanessa? It is really easy to read, but enough of a story to hook you in. It retails at £20. It's hard, really sturdy hardback book. £20 UK, 29 US, and 38 Canadian. And it's by Living Hair Press, as you can see here. I don't have permission to read from this, so I'll just give you an idea by just reading a couple of lines. I think I'd be all right with that. Where shall we? Let's go to our... let's go to our beautiful Empress. So you get the card on one side. You do get a couple of keywords here, or themes. Sorry, themes is nurturing energy, femininity, beauty, nature's abundance. So I'll just read just this little bit to give you an idea of how it's set up. So bearing in mind that the Fool has just met the High Priestess, okay? And then it says, the Fool was confused. He had not expected to be thrust into another vista so soon. He had supposed that he had found an escape, a place he could stay and be at one with his thoughts. Instead, everything was changing. The temple was gone. The desert vanished. The burnished sky and blazing sun replaced by a softer backdrop. Fluffy white clouds floated above the Fool's head, and beneath his feet the ground was pliable and warm. A carpet of grass had sprung from nowhere, stretching in every direction, and as he looked, he could see dips and mounds form in the distance. Hills and valleys rippled into existence before his eyes. The earth was verdant and rich. The soil was fertile. He turned around and found that he was standing in the middle of a giant wildflower meadow. Tiny buds and flower heads peeped from between the damp grasses, pretty pinks and jeweled light reds, sunshine yellow, and the brightest blues gathered at his feet. And in that moment, he felt like a king. Behind him, from a forest, appeared thick, swarthy trees, towered and formed a canopy. And then sweeping around and down a sparkling freshwater stream, he watched as it all swept past him. Where am I? Wondered the fool. As if in answer, the landscape pulsated, matching the rise and fall of his chest. A feeling of security came over him, as if he had been in this. I should really stop. It's hooking me in. Being in this place before, it felt like home, and he had relaxed and marvelled at the beauty of his surroundings. From behind him came a voice, soft and mellow, like it was born from the earth. My son, it said. And as the fool spun around, the voice came into being, melding from the land and taking the shape of a voluptuous woman seated on an array of cushions. Oh, it's beautifully written, isn't it? So it's one of those books that when you start reading and it describes the scene and what you see in the cards and beyond. This is what I love about it. I don't know if people have noticed, but Destiny at the moment are creating a new deck. They're calling it something like the Wide Angle RWS as a working title, but it shows you beyond just that scene of the card. And I love that book because it describes the landscape. It describes what's happening around. And, you know, when we've done pathworking before, and you kind of go into the cards and you're in that scene, a book like that really brings that sort of vision to life of what the landscape might be like for the Empress, or indeed the temple setting of the High Priestess. So it's a brilliantly written book. And of course, the fool is on a journey and he's learning. So these are all mentors and teachers as well that is giving him, you know, pearls of wisdom. And the idea of the book then is therefore you kind of learn what those cards represent, what the archetypal energies are for each of those cards. So I think it's brilliant. And I wish the book had been around when I was learning tarot. It would have been cool. I just saw a tag. Chris, do you think the cards will be jumbo sized? The one from Destiny, possibly. I was wondering if there was going to be landscape, you know, because as they're showing them as the designer them, they're putting a line, sorry, a box around what the original image would look like, and then you get the wide angle. And I thought, I wonder if they're going to have the deck kind of landscape so you can see. I loved the Three of Pentacles. I thought that was so cool. I always imagine that to be an indoor scene, and the way they've done it, it's like, no, now I've seen that, I can't unsee it. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let me take that tag off that says what's new in. Don't need that. And let's see what else we've got. Yes, Simon, I was gifted it last month and I've only read up to the Magician. I'll set up some time to read more tonight. £16 on Amazon, says Scott. That's good to know. Love the huge eye at the back on the book. Oh no, I was going to say there isn't an eye. It's the pentacles. You're on about me baubles, aren't you? They were sent to me from Texas by my friend Anton 2 years ago, I think. He sent a ton of them. I think they must have been about, I don't know, 20 of them, maybe. I know there was a lot in all different sizes. I kept a couple and gave a few away. Yeah, and I normally have them out around Halloween time, but I really like it. It's very detailed. On Amazon US, it's on sale at 23% off for $23. So that's really good. Sorry, 20% off. Thanks, Rosemary. Anyone else notice Simon's candle start flickering wildly when he's reading? I never noticed that. Class are transfixed. But that's what the book does, because it's so descriptive, detailed. You see it all unfolding in your mind's eye. I love it. My son is the Empress, the Fool's mother. I'm intrigued. I think it's because she's kind of mother to all, isn't she? She's kind of like the personification of the earth, of Gaia, of Mother Nature. So she's kind of mother. So referring to him as her son. She represents mother energy, Robin. So I say everyone's mother. Now we're on the same path, Chris. New Insidious film. I love Insidious. Have you considered writing your own book? No, I haven't. I haven't got the time to commit to that. It would take forever to write it. Simon, not sure how close that candle is to your shelf, but the size of the flame is making me nervous. Are you referring to this one? That one? Yeah, it's quite a way away. It's fine. It's inside a wooden thing. If that's the one you're on about. I'm itching for your review of Zama Twins. No sign yet. No, I got the dispatch notification a good week ago. So it should be here. I was expecting it like Thursday, Friday. I was thinking, oh, it should come any time, but it hasn't yet. And I keep seeing cards that Patrick's putting out, but I've still not watched anybody's walkthrough. I think I saw Elaine had got it as well the other day. And I was like, oh, I wish mine would hurry up and come. I'm itching to have a look at it. No, in the back, the red one. Oh, that's in glass. That's inside glass. Oh, I see what you mean. The shelf because of the position. No, there's at least that much space between the shelf and that candle because you're looking at it from an angle. I can't really show you because of I can't really show you without because of the wires and stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely it's fine. There's loads of space. The candle up higher, just above your hair. Yeah. Looks like the hair's ear is on fire. Yeah, it's in a glass cylinder. Phew. We all want you to stay safe, Simon. Yeah. Right, so tag time. And just want to check that I'm not missing anybody in Facebook as well, because every week when I do a live and I end the live and I pick my iPad up, I'll sit on the settee, make a drink, unwind. I pick my iPad up and I go to Facebook, and there's always messages in there that I haven't seen from people, and I feel like I neglect them, and they'll only appear on here, seeing not my iPad. So if there is anybody watching in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group and I've not acknowledged you, feel free to pop a comment in. and I'll try my best not to ignore it. I'll highlight your comment so other people can see that's in Facebook as well. We've all seen those live stream fails. You made me want the Retina Weight Smith deck, and it's sold out. Oh, the waiting is torture. It's such an amazing deck. It is an absolutely amazing deck. I love it. I'm showing you Kelly's pouch because it's kept in there. So where are we? Where's that? I don't want to. I want to make sure I don't lose my page on that book. That's that done. All right. So the tag. Let's have a look. So the tag was set by our Sandra at Spirit of Avalon, and it's my top 5 weird, strange decks. Now I'm so behind because I've had a really full-on week this week. There's been something every night. I was socializing last night because it was a friend's work colleagues leaving do. The night before I did the live with Chris. Wednesday night was an awards evening. So there's been something on all the while. So I'm so behind on YouTube. I've got who was I saying to in the chat? I've got 50 something videos in my watch later list. It's not giving me anxiety because I'll get round to them as I get round to them. Hello, Anne. Robin says, Simon, it's my 4th channel of anniversary next weekend. I can't believe it's been 4 years already since I asked you how to go about it. No, I can't. In some ways, Robin, it feels like you've always been there. Do you know what I mean? Those 4 years, it feels, I think, wow, 4 years. And then in other times you think, gosh, 4 years, where's that time gone? Yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? Hi, Cheyenne. Okay, so this was more difficult than I thought. Well, it wasn't. And the reason why it was more difficult is because I found my 5 very easily because I thought, yeah. But I think they're quite predictable as well. But then I thought about some others and I was like, oh, I've got more than 5. Now, Sandra says in her video, and I've only watched hers and Giselle's, that was the only ones I could find when I clicked on the tag link. And I saw on Giselle, she mentioned a deck, and I was like, oh, yeah, I've got that deck. Sandra's got the deck as well. But I tried not to be predictable. I know, and that's the thing. So I've got a couple of honorary mentions because Sandra did say, even though it's my top 5 weird, strange decks, if you've got more, you can show more. So what I'm doing is I've got my 5 that are my top 5, but I'm going to show you some others as well. And the first one, probably no surprise, and Giselle showed it, is the Carnival at the End of the World. This deck is so freaking weird. But I had to get it when it came out. I bought this back in 2018, late 2018. It's the first edition with this coloration. I love those backs, really love them. It's the same cardstock as Pagan Otherworlds because it's printed by the Expert Playing Card Company. This is what the box looks like on the first edition. The colours changed slightly on the second edition, but it is so weird. And it's not the easiest of decks to read, although I have used it and done some readings with it. It comes with a separate book that you can buy, which I did because I thought it really needs a book. But to be honest, the book doesn't give you that much. I was a little bit disappointed with the book. Carnival, definitely a weird, strange deck. And Dana says, I adore my Carnival at the End of the World. Definitely fits the tag. And then people are saying, please, Chris. So what's Chris going to... I've got some weird decks I could break out for this tag. I have a deck where one of the suits is rats. Do it, Chris. Do it. I mean, yeah. Just bizarre. Let me show you some other cards that I think are really weird. I mean, very macabre as well. I mean, how creepy. How creepy is that? Love this. I mean, it's a bit disturbing, but it's so Wicker Man, isn't it? I mean, it is a Wicker Man, but you know, the film with Edward Woodward, not the Nicolas Cage travesty. That's certainly a weird one, says Marita. Love the strength card. Here's our fool. A little monkey. I mean, even the sun is weird. So anyway, I'm not going to show them all. So I had to give that an honorary mention because it is a weird, strange deck. The other deck that I wanted to give an honorary mention to isn't that weird, but I just find it a really strange deck, and it, oh gosh, nearly dropped it then. I forgot the lid was. It's the box is in this shape, and it's the Parallel Worlds Tarot. And I've seen this a few times now in places like the shop at Chesterfield that I've shown on the channel. They've got a copy. And I think I've seen it in Watkins. But it's not like a very popular deck. Not a lot of people have shown it and talked about it. But my friends who used to have the crystal stand downstairs in the market, they'd got it in their shop this particular day. And they knew the creator, and that's why they got some. And they said, oh, you're into tarot, aren't you? I was like, well, yes, I am. And it's like, have you seen this deck? And I hadn't seen it at that point. And I looked at the cards and I thought, there's something about these that I like. It's only in a flimsy-ish 2-part box. The box isn't anything wonderful. It has, like the box opens in landscape, there's a little book, it's no more than an LWB really. I edged it in this beautiful electric blue. The backs are quite pretty. They are reversible. But I found it a little, I mean, that's the art style. So the art style is quite simple, clean lines, bold colors. But I find it, let me show you some of the cards to explain what I mean. I just found it a little bit strange. There's the High Priest, which is 5 rather than the Hierophant, it's High Priest with this burning tree. I mean, look at strength. I mean, what the freak is that? The Hermit. I mean, I get that sort of inner light thing. Where else is weird? Yeah, the Death card. Look at that. It's really strange. I've not seen it yet. Simon, was it Curious Goods on the Shambles? Yes. I drove there from Preston 2 days ago. I never saw that deck. Perhaps it's been sold. I saw it in there last time I went in. When did I go to Chesterfield last? Wasn't that long ago. When did I go last? I can't remember now. I took somebody. Can't remember who I went with. That's terrible, isn't it? Love the Devil. If you don't like clowns, look away. But yeah, and the tower, I quite like the tower because it's a kind of like a statue look. The head there coming off, the crown carved out of stones. the moon is underwater, so I like that. It took me a while to realise it was underwater till I saw like the bubbles and stuff. Look at the sun. It's just, there's something really unique about it, and I do think it's quite a weird. Did you take a family member, Simon? Yeah, but that was over a year ago. I've been recently, like, I want to say, certainly in the last couple of months. It might have been on if I've had to go into Chesterfield with work and I was with a work colleague. But yeah, look at this. The stuff of nightmares. That reminds me of the Sassorabito kind of vibe. So has anybody else got this deck? The Parallel Worlds Tarot by Astrid Amadori. That is so cool, the creature under the bed. Most people are like, ooh. Sandra's like, that's so cool. Creep show. That was creepy scared. I'm wondering if the deck with all the testings is in Simon's weird stack. You're on about the oh my gosh, what is it called? It's a French deck that I got from Amazon France. I can't think what it's called now. It's right behind me. Par Polka. That one, isn't it, that you're on about? The Tarot de Marseille Par Polka. It took me a while to realise that it was actually saying that it's by Polka. It's not, Robin. Okay, so the last honorary mention isn't a tarot deck. It's not even an oracle deck. But when we're talking about, Polka. But when we're talking about creepy, weird, strange, I have to mention Carte de Visite by Deviant Moon, because this, it's their Cabinet Curiosity cards. I think they was billed as, but they are really, so you've got this kind of like old postcard, old photographs, and then there's like these handwritten messages on the back. So this one is, Daddy assured me that monsters weren't real, but I was never convinced. Talking about monsters under the bed. So I find this really, I mean, it is so Patrick Malenza, isn't it? Especially when you see his later stuff. Now, I've had this a lot of years, probably about 6-7 years. I don't even know if it's still available. You'd have to go to Deviant Moon to have a look. But it's really weird. Too creepy for me. Wait, are these all honorary mentions? I thought, no, I haven't started on my top 5. Oh, I'm showing that the wrong way around. I haven't started on my top 5 yet, Chris. I just wanted to mention it. And Sandra just say, if you've got more than 5, feel free to show them. So I am. There's the asylum. There's one in particular, this isn't it, but there's one in particular that really I was like, oh my gosh, that is really creepy. Look at that. What's that one say? Death waits patiently in the corner of life. The one I find really creepy is this one. Ugh. And I think she's been used before for like Mildred Payne's story, not as Mildred Payne, but Mildred Payne's mother or something like that in later years. It says Nellie's dark secret haunted her throughout her life. I love it, but that has to go in Carte de Visite. But I always find really old photos kind of creepy anyway. They feel ghostly. Well, that's because a lot of the times, you know, we're looking at people who aren't alive anymore when we find really old photographs. But yeah, of a bygone era. So just before I start my 5, let's have a look at some comments that oh my god, I need this deck. Which one, Scott? The Parallel Lives, or do you mean the cabinet cards? Oh, interested in that polka. Haven't heard of that. I'll show you a couple before I start. I can find only 3 non-Valenza, and they're not all that weird. Well, they're not in my 5, so that's the only Valenza I chose to show, because I thought people are going to say, oh, I knew you'd go for Deviant Moon, or I knew you'd go for Trionfo della Luna. So I've decided not to, but Patrick's decks are creepy in a fantastic way. Miss Marple and the Grim Reaper. Nellie's dark secret is haunting me now, says David. What's it called again? I think it's pronounced Carte de Visite. Enough, Simon, please. Right, let me just show you a few from the polka. I had to sellotape. I used this deck so much when I got it. So it's a French deck. I got it from Amazon France. Do get a couple of, it's just battered so much. You get a title card. These are the intestines that they're talking about. That's an additional card. But it's a Marseille deck. So it's got these little skulls as the backs, as you can see here. And then I'll show you a few of the cards. There's the Devil. They've got really lovely colours. The greens are really deep and rich. I love them. Roy de Baton. So again, quite, excuse me, disturbing. Yeah, look at these beautiful green colours for the swords. And they're in colour suits. So there's these intestines. I love the Valet. The Page of Cups. No fish in that cup. The Moon card is awesome. Trigger warning for the hanged card, because it does show somebody being hung the right way up. So look away if that's something that would be upsetting. There's our Fool. I love the Hermit card. I just love this card so much. Oh, it's fab. And we have this beautiful red for the batons, as you can see here. Beautiful coins. It's a little bit smaller than a US Games NPC because it's a Marseille. It's probably the size of like a Fournier. There's our Sun card. Good old Roy, the Roy de Baton. The Star card. La Papesse. And then we get this beautiful maroon colour for the cups. Let's find another one. So these are the intestines that Robin was referring to. Everybody's going to want to see the death card, aren't they? You're all waiting for that. I love the tower. And then here's the death card. Yeah, so such a cool deck. I don't know if you can still get it. I'm assuming you can. You do have to go to Amazon France, though, and search for it. So it's Le Tarot de Marseille by Polka, so par Polka. I've often thought about getting a backup because it is quite battered now, but I don't know if it's still available or not. I'm not sure. This deck is definitely covered by the hashtag. Love the colours, but that one card, I think you'll know which one I mean. Can't deal with that, yeah. Okay, Chris, see you later. So, the top 5. This was the easiest bit because I know the 5 kind of weird decks that I enjoy. First one, no surprises, I think. Recognize it? This one is the Ritual Abuse Tarot. I edged it in black. It's got this nice vinily, shiny black. It is a black and white deck. I love the images in this. I tend to work with this more in winter, around Samhain, but you know, just in the darker part of the year, it really speaks to me. I love this Ace of Cups. I was holding the heart, but it is weird. It is strange. It's creepy. It's macabre. I love it. I love the kind of, and I think it's based on, is it Things That Go Bump in the Night or something like that? An old book. It's not one that I'd got, but when I saw the artwork for it, I could see why it was being compared to it. But I love the kind of roughness to it, you know, how it's kind of ink blocky, and it almost looks like it's been done by touch drawing. Is this by the same illustrator's Scary Stories books in the 90s? No, it's based on that, I think. Don't believe it's the same artist. That's not a deck I'd be comfortable asking for in a shop. Ritual Abuse. I have Simon Made Me Do It on its way. A lovely moon gazing hair statue. She is blue with moons and stars all over. I have that one. I have that one too. I bought it on holiday when I was at the seaside a few years ago. 2019, I think it was. Yeah, so I think this definitely fits in the category of weird and strange. Let me just sit. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so. Oh, yes, good one. It's out of print now, I think, Simon. Oh, the polka. That's a shame. And this bag by Anne is gorgeous for it. Perfect. All right, the next one I bought when I was up in Scotland, and it's the Meebramig Magical Tarot. Now, I find this really, these little creatures are quite weird, and it is a strange deck. So again, I think this fits. It's by Lo Scarabeo. It has a happy squirrel card, but it's just quite bizarre. Doesn't have any text on it. Even when we get to the minors, it's just got a symbol and a number. So it uses the Roman numerals. But these characters are really weird. And I saw it in the shop, and I was with my friend who I went to stay with, Elaine, and I was like, there's something about it that's just, it's not like anything else I've got. And I decided to get it, and I said it'll always remind me of my trip to Scotland, and it does. Whenever I pull this deck out, I always think about that trip. Look at that. Giselle, just talking about you a few minutes ago. Yeah, so, I mean, you can't get much weirder. It's very RWS, but the characters are all these strange creatures. Look at the 5. Yeah, so that one is definitely there. So what we had so far, we've had the Ritual Abuse Tarot and the Meebramig Magical Tarot. I want a copy, but Lo Scarabeo refused to reprint it. Oh, is this one out of print as well? What is the origin of the Happy Squirrel card? The Simpsons. So Lisa Simpson goes to a fair, and there's a fortune teller's tent, and when she goes in, and they pull the card, they pull the Happy Squirrel card, and she's like, oh, the Happy Squirrel. So it kind of stemmed from that. And then I think just like one creator did it, and they put a Happy Squirrel in, and then it's just lots of people put Happy Squirrels in now. Oh, it's out of print. Wow. Well, I'm really glad I did get it then when I was in Scotland. Okay. Cursed Algorithm is my third choice. This, I haven't used this as much, and I think it's because even though it's in my top 5 faves, I really like it, but it's a deck. I did find it quite strange. It's quite dark. It says step into the world of dark fairy tales with this deck of 78 cards evoking imagery of the old craft and folk magic. It is suitable for both new and experienced readers. I tell you, everybody says that. Anasora is the illustrator. It's in a tuck box, but it does kind of drop down at the back, so you can get the cards out quite easy. It has a lovely linen. These are the backs. I don't know if you can see, get it towards the light, but it's got a lovely soft linen finish on it, as you can see there. But yeah, I find this one quite strange, but I love it. There's something about this deck I really, really like. Oh, Shauna here. Hello, Shauna. Poor Anne's being traumatized by these decks. I'm sorry, Anne. Heavens. And I thought the Mons Tarot was weird. I love that card. Really love it. That's our Queen of Wands. Look at the Devil. But yeah, it's just a little bit, and if you're arachnophobe, you might want to look away now and also for the next card, because this is quite traumatizing. Isn't it strange? It's very pippish, as you'll see with cards like this or like that, like that. But, and then we get coffin nails for the swords. Got these coffin nails. But yeah, it's odd. Whoa, says Amanda. Is that the spider in the mouth? Hello, Amanda, by the way. Anne's probably in a pile on the floor now. Yeah, there's lots of spiders, lots of webs. Snails mating. And look at this. There's hair on the snake. A heart with loads of pins in it or nails. Yeah, it's strange. It is a strange deck, and I thought it fitted the category really well. Ooh, trigger warning. If you, I'll describe it. There's a needle going right through someone's finger. But that is the Ace of Swords. No spiders. There's loads of spiders in this deck. This feels like some sort of psychological test, says Beth. Hello, Beth. I should use this deck more, but I did find it quite a challenge to read with, but I do like it. Okay. So my fourth choice, this again won't be a surprise to people. I've banged on about this deck quite a lot in recent months. It hasn't left my desk since I got it. Boxes. Why? Can cope with spiders just fine. It's the clowns and creepy, macabre, photorealistic cards that get me. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's funny how you say macabre, because it's a macabre tarot. This is my second favorite weird and strange deck. It's beautiful quality. Say it's a mass produced deck. Cardstock is incredible, lovely matte, really high quality, beautiful gilding. These are the backs, so they are reversible. But when I show you the images, you'll see why I feel that this deck fits the weird and strange hashtag. I love that. just the eyes look glowing in the dark, and then you just see these fingers coming forward out of the, I've dropped a card, out of the blackness. I think I should perhaps get this one. I think you'd really like it. The cards are either on a black background like this or on a white background like this. Look at her. This is one of my favorite magician cards. I love it. No spiders, snakes or clowns. Back to RWS. Love the Three of Cups. Oops. Oh, I think we just had lightning. Waiting for the clap of thunder now to see how close it is. Let's have imagined it. Sure, I saw a flash of lightning. Clowns, clown warning. Although it's only a cartoon kind of clown. Okay, let's show a couple more. Love the moon and the sun. Yeah, so Macabre Tarot, gorgeous, gorgeous quality. Look, I love it so much. I'll just check with some comments before I show you my number one. Oh dear. Okay, hard no on clowns. I like snakes, not over keen on spiders. Spiders want to kill you. I find this one pretty interesting. I'm realising I have very pedestrian taste in tarot decks. I don't think I have anything close to what you've all been showing in this tag. It says cat. Cartoon clowns count. They're almost as creepy as live clowns. Death penalty for clowns. I used to be a clown, not in a circus. When I worked at a theme park in the 80s, if Tony was here in Facebook, it'd remember it well. I used to sell helium balloons dressed as a clown. And I can always remember there was this horrible, like, kid, probably 12, 13, and he kept running up behind me and like kicking me or trying to grab one of the helium balloons. And I just turned around to him and said, "You're so, I nearly said well behaved. You're so badly behaved, you know." And I was like, "Where's your parents and all this?" And he went, "I might be badly behaved, but at least I'm not going to grow up and end up working as a clown." I was mortified. I was like, "What's wrong with being a clown? It's an honest living." I love it when Simon says, "I love it." Hello, son of sun. Giselle's shown mine in amongst her 8 decks. Hello, Magus. Good to see you. Thank you. That's very nice. Okay, so my number one weird, strange deck. I've showed this quite a few times now. it's the Mutation Tarot, which is an RWS deck of mutants. And it's a really tall. Do you remember the what was that? The Il Meneghello deck that was long, Le Corte something. It's kind of like that. Excuse me, the long, thin cards, and on the back it says the Mutation Tarot deck was the result of a 1.5-year long project by illustrator Mario Rosa to reimagine the spirit, symbols, and imagery of the cards without using human beings. We are all constantly changing every second of every day. We might not even recognize ourselves in the future. And it kind of reminds me, have you seen the film AI with Haley Joel Osment? And there's the scene where he ends up going to the bottom of the ocean and getting trapped there. And thousands of years pass. And then these kind of mutant beings come and rescue him from the bottom of the ocean. And that's what we've evolved to be thousands of years from now. The artist must have nightmares from these decks. Yeah, so again, this was an indie deck. It's only in a tuck box. I don't know if it's still available or not. But just to give you an idea, this is the shape of them. These are the back. So comparing it with an RWS, you can see it's thinner but a lot taller. Let me show you some weird. I mean, the images are really lovely. They're very clear and sharp, but these mutant beings in them. But as an RWS lover, and being as this was quite unique, it's either unique or it's not. I mean, look at the fold. What even is that? It's a hard deck for me to shuffle. Yeah, it's not the easiest. I love the shadow behind, like he stood in front of a backdrop. You notice that? Like it's recreating it in a studio or something. Justice is bizarre. So yeah, this is like the strangest deck I own. So it had to be my number one. And as soon as I saw the tag weird strange decks, the first thing that springs to mind, someone said, what's the weirdest deck in your collection, or the strangest deck? I always say the Mutation Tarot, I should say. It was just, I mean, look at this for the star. Jude Law. Oh, Jude Law in AI, yeah. I need to watch AI again. I've not seen it for ages. It's such a good film. But it's at least 15 years since I last saw it. I've got the DVD. I like our Queen of Cups. Very Avatar-ish. Got a little pinhead here for our Two of Swords. We just get the numbers for the minors, because if you're used to RWS, then they're quite easy to work out what they are. Okay, so Mutation Tarot is my number one. So my choices were, I'm not going to mention the honorary mentions, was the Mibramig, the Cursed Auguries, the Ritual Abuse Tarot, the Macabre Tarot, and the Mutation Tarot. So what would yours be? You don't have to put all 5, but please feel free to pop in the chat. We've got a few minutes left. What's your weirdest deck? Or are you wanting to do a VR? If you've got a channel, then obviously it'll be great if you did a VR, because I'd love to see your choices. But if you haven't got a channel and you want to join in, then just tell us what your weirdest deck is. Oh, coffee's so nice. It's lovely, keeps it lovely and hot in that flask. Let's see if I've missed any comments. The moon is quite cute. The first deck you showed, Simon, I would scream every time I turn over a card. What was the first one I showed? Was it the Ritual Abuse? It is quite grim. Child catcher at one of my Halloween parties. Cruel Little Bested. Simon, did any children scream when you wore your clown outfit? No. Well, I had a couple that would hide behind the parents, but they saw all the lovely helium balloons that I'd got, and yeah, that kind of drove them forward. He's probably in prison, Simon. Yeah. At least I'm not going to grow up and become a clown. Little shit. I've held on to that for, what year was I? It was the last year I was there, 89. So I've held on to that for 34 years. Let it go. What? Thought Simon couldn't sink any lower into weird. AI was wonderful back when what's his face was super hot. He was in that film, and he was super hot in The Talented Mr. Ripley as well, but then so was Matt Damon. Just saying. Bye, Dawn. He's a good actor and an interesting person. Do you do readings with these? I haven't done readings with them. Would you pull them out for client reading? No, I probably wouldn't. Kids will now say, what's a DVD? When he leaves next year, everyone's interested in Graham Norton. He's the best host ever. I'll be sad when he leaves next year. I didn't know Graham Norton was giving up doing the Graham Norton show. You're welcome, Sandra. Thank you for creating a brilliant tag. It was really fun to do. Any excuse to get out my decks and, think about things a little differently is always fun. Bye, Patsy. Enjoy your son's 21st. Here is a cursed, all right. My weird is the Serpent and Peacock. It's also beautiful. I'm being sent the second edition of that, and I'm really excited. I've got the first edition in the tin, but I love how vibrant the colours are now, and they're a bit wider, and you see more of the image. Dang Olsen Dream Tarot. Dang Olsen, I've not seen that. The Viste cards. Robin, yeah, they are weirdest, are they? Would you say, Robin, you've got 5 to be able to do the tag? Magical Forest is a good one. That's cute though, isn't it? It is weird, but it's cute. Cutie weird. Crow's Magic. Nicoletta Ciccoli. That's a good one. That's classed as weird. Surreal, isn't it? Tara Nuage is another good candidate. Yeah, Tara Nuage would be good. I heard he's packing in the Graham Norton show next year. Sad. That is sad because it used to be on Channel 4 years ago, like 20 odd years ago. And he was a little bit more risque back then, like Betty's Tongue. He used to show Betty's Tongue. And yeah, the stuff he could get away with on Channel 4, because it's kind of like an edgy alternative, anything goes kind of channel that pushes the boundaries a bit. He can't get away with on BBC. So when he went from Channel 4 to BBC, it became more kind of mainstream, and he was a little bit more, I mean, it's still really funny, but he was a bit more below the belt when he was on, it was called So Graham Norton. That was what the show was called. I've absolutely got 5. I'm compiling a list and deciding whether to wait on a creepy one I've ordered from abroad or just press on now. Ooh, that's a tough one. How long is it going to take for your creepy one from abroad to come? Since Graham will have more time off now, he should come round on Saturdays. Just, yeah, get him on. I'll chat to him. Soul cards, they're creepy. I can barely look. I keep them in the laundry room. Nicole, that's funny. I don't own many weird ones. I'd have to say Deviant Moon and Tarot Noir. The weirdest deck and oracle I've got is the Tarot of Mystical Moments, but I love it. It's whimsical. Yeah, it's a good choice. My choices will be tame in comparison. Doesn't matter. It's your choices. Chatty Man, so funny. Raven's Prophecy, another good one. People agreeing with the mystical moments. Margaret Peterson, yeah, I really can't connect with that deck. Really can't. I think it's the abstract cards I really don't like. I love the death card in the Margaret Peterson. Surrealist Tarot, yeah. I wish I can't. It costs a fortune, but the Oliver Hibbard Tarot is an RWS deck I'd love to have. I think the closest I've got is like the tarot collectible ones, like the neon and stuff like that. But it's that meltiness. But that would be a good one for this category too. Do you have any oddball ones that are just different from others, but not in a creepy way? I mean, some of them you wouldn't say were creepy, like Mibramig. Probably. I mean, I've got nearly 800 decks, so there's bound to be some there that would be considered a little bit oddball. Yeah, I've caught up anyway. What time are we on? 23 minutes past. Let's have a card pull. Shall we have something creepy, or should we go back to? Let's go back to RWFs. And sorry to those, I know people were saying earlier they really want this deck and it's out of print, but there is going to be a second edition of this deck. So if you didn't get it, I don't know what the second edition is going to be like, because I mean, normally when Mate Horror Number from Destiny brings out a second edition, it's normally got, because the first edition didn't have gilding but this is like, I don't know how he can perfect this. I really don't, because everything about it is, I mean, oh gosh, gorgeous. But there is a second edition coming out, so if you didn't get it, I will let you know as soon as the second edition is out. It's not going to be till the end of the year, but Simon, the cardstock in the second edition of Serpent is incredible. I'm so excited. The Madhouse Tarot. Yeah, I can't support the Madhouse Tarot. I don't like the idea of it, the theme of it. I just think it's kind of adds to the stigma of mental health, and it's almost like, you know, that's why I stopped watching things like The X Factor. They were clearly bringing on people that have got like learning difficulties and things or problems and laughing at them. And, you know, it's a friend of mine used to always say, we haven't moved on really much, have we, from the days where we used to pay to go and sit in Bedlam and watch, you know, the patients in there for amusement. And yeah, there is something about us doing that doesn't sit comfortably. In the Madhouse Tarot, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the concept. Bring back the retina. I agree, Sam. It's a bit cruel. Yeah. The Vlad the Impaler deck. I don't have it, Robin. Oh, it's to Sandra. Sandra. Oh, Sandra doesn't have it anymore. I wonder if that feeling we get when we hear cardstock making certain sounds has a name. Auditory foreplay or something. Calla. Auditory foreplay. This just the most beautiful shuffling sound. Gorgeous. But yeah, that sort of, oh gosh. ASMR. Yeah. All right. Oh. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands. I mean, again, this deck, just look how clean and crisp the line work is. The shadows look of the wands. All right, our message then. Quick, simple message, really, I think, this week from the Four of Wands is now is the time to make plans, okay? Particularly if the plans are quite big plans and will impact significantly on your future. Now is the time to set those foundations. So if you've been putting off something, usually something that's celebratory in celebratory, not celebratory, 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 let's put it that way, in style. Like, you know, if you're thinking of something that's really important to you, whether it's a wedding or an engagement or a big event that's, you know, quite celebratory in your life, then now is the time to start putting those plans into motion. Okay, you've probably been thinking about it for some time, but now it's time to lay the foundations out and move in the direction, because this card is indicating that the time is now. Almost Three of Wands, Simon. We get the Three of Wands a lot, don't we, when we pull the cards here. Warm weather this week. That Four of Wands suggests me planning a picnic. Go for it, Robin. Auditory foreplay in the playroom of 50 Shades of Tarot with our Simon. It's a partnership. Yes, let's celebrate in all this chaos. Simply, yeah. Sometimes you're right, actually, Nicole. You know, sometimes we can get bogged down, can't we, by the grimness of what we see and experience that's happening in the world. And then sometimes it's nice to have a focus on something that's going to be an impactful, in a positive way, event, where we're making a huge commitment to something, to start to, and it doesn't have to be, you know, it's going to happen in the next few weeks or the next few months, but laying that foundation and focusing on that takes us away from, sometimes, as much as we can, takes us away from that sort of energy zapping and draining that we experience when we focus on things that we don't always have control over. But if we focus on an event that we're planning, that we have control over, and I think that's the message, isn't it? To lay that intent, set those foundations, make the plans, particularly if it's going to have a positive impact on your life. Simon's Tarot Room is the name for it from years ago, not created by Simon though. I've not heard of Simon's Tarot Room. I know my bookshelves of tarot decks was made into a meme about, do you want to see my playroom? It got Christian Grey and what's her name, played by I forgot her name. And then it's got my shelves underneath. I don't know who created it. Never did know who created it, but yeah. Anyway, that's the one, Simon. Lovely to be with you all. The hour and a half is up. Thank you, Sandra, for doing the tag. I really enjoyed doing the top 5 weird, strange decks. I am expecting a couple of decks this week. If they come this week, I will be back to show them. But have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and look after yourselves. And if you're in the UK, apparently there's another 2 more storms to come. It's the weekend of 3 storms, apparently. So stay safe. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.